Good morning. Welcome to a morning review. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 21st of July. So looking at the euro dollar first, and yesterday we pretty much, we broke the prior lows there, and it was looking at one stage like we were going to continue in that vein. Then earlish morning, we ran into bit of support into the daily S1, and everything turned around. It chopped pretty much through the day there. It's pushing up pretty well at the moment. I'm just looking for sort of, we've just run back into the previous trend line here, and 100 MA on the hourlies here. Already caught the daily pivot, caught the R1. If anything, depending how this shapes up this morning, it's been a bit overbought this morning. I would be looking at potentially a break of the lower trend here. I mean, it's still the bigger picture to me, it's still in a bit of a bearish flag. Now, I could be wrong, and unless it breaks the lows, I'm not going to be in a trade, so it makes a little difference here. So I'm at this stage just waiting to see if we see a breakdown, maybe below the lows from the trend line here. We just pop the trend line across the lows there, so I really need to see it breaking that sort of level to confirm the downside. If it's going to continue upside, well, it's probably going to be without me for now. Cable. It's had a push back up again, but not as far anywhere near what Euro had. It had quite a rebound after yesterday's retracement. I mean, it's a bit of a zigzag market, but there was comments made by one of the Monetary Policy Committee, which suggested that interest rates won't be cut until they really need to. So they see more signs of the need to cut interest rates, in which case it caused quite a rally in the pound later on. What we're seeing at the moment, no, well, seeing an ABC sort of move up here, it's looking bullish from the sort of 4-hourly point of view from that respect. If it can hold on, it hasn't yet broken the prior highs there. It's got an untouched pivot below. A break of the lows here may see it running back towards the daily pivot, which I always like to see out the way. There is the alternative if it starts getting a bit of a run on, and this is a bit early drawing this on in a sense, but if it breaks the highs of this current candle, if this holds, well, we could be seeing it pushing up towards its R1 there. It's pushing up pretty well at the moment, so in fact, I mean, I may have to review that after the hour's finish. It's a bit early to be putting on even. There is a longer range trend line running from this high here across, which is not too dissimilar and would be fine. Okay, as they're both closed candles that I'm putting it on. So if it breaks up that way, R1 could be target. Then ahead of that, we've got the 60-minute 500 coming down over the top there, another potential target. So that's pretty much cable. Sorry, I'm just flicking between charts here. And dollar yen. There we go. So dollar yen yesterday saw a continuation. It broke through that 50 already, but it continued on its run through its 50 into the weekly R1 area, stalled around that sort of area, went through it slightly, but it's currently stalled around that R1 sort of picture. It's had a bit of a spike down through the Asian session there, close enough to the pivot really to say, well, okay, it's hit. So if we start seeing a continuation to the upside here, I would be looking at today's R1 most likely as a reasonable target to the upside. Aussie dollar, well, again, we're seeing some sort of reversal. I'm really not liking the overall pattern on the Aussie. It has had some sort of minorish divergence kicking into this into these lows. In fact, it had into the prior low there, and then it's yesterday's lows, and now it went further beyond that, which has really taken out the divergence between the the nearest term lows. It's just really continuation, but all the same, it's having a bounce at the moment. The daily R1 doesn't look that far away if it does decide to go in there, but again, there's a very weak divergence on the alleys, and again, it's bear flag territory. For me, I'd rather sit here and wait for a little while and see if we have a breakdown of the lows if I was going to trade it ahead for yesterday's lows and the S1. So again, it's that, just as it did yesterday with the trend lines here, it's a case of attaching the trend line across the lows there and trading it if it breaks down. So the Aussie, Canadian dollar, you know what I'm going to do here, don't you? Have a quick look at oil. So oil recovered a bit yesterday. It's pushing up at the moment, so just bear that in mind. It's still in quite a bearish trend, but the recovery didn't do a lot of good for the Canadian dollar. It just swept up yesterday pretty much on the strength of the US dollar for quite some time. Seeing a sell back at the moment, very messy. The 4 hourly is probably more guidance than the dailies in a sense here at the moment. If we were to break the lows at what we're seeing at the moment, there is a smaller trend line that runs, if I can get the trend line on there, it'd be good, across the lows here. If we see this breaking and oil pushing up a bit more, then fine, it may give us a move back to that weekly pivot. Looking at the 60-minute time frame, so we've had the daily pivot taken out. Yeah, so it's a bit more, I mean, you should see quite a complex chart in terms of the price action, even ignoring all the indicators sort of that are overlaid there. But if we break through that trend I've drawn there, well, it could be on for the S1 and maybe more downside there to back towards the 200 perhaps. You see one thing, it's flattening out a bit. The moving averages are all starting to, the angle is dropping down, particularly on the bigger time moving average. The 200 is flattening, which is showing up really the more consolidated approach it's got, or pattern it's got at the moment. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Key news today. Well, there is some key news today because we've got the ECB coming out later. At 9:30 though, we've got the UK retail sales, pretty key data. Following on from that, we've got the European minimum bid rate at 12.45, but more importantly, we've got Draghi speaking at 1:30. So hopefully some decent volatility today through particularly into the afternoon. Have a great one. Take care. Bye for now.